Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by Boyle Sports. Sam is still on his winter break, so we are so happy that Tim Sherwood is back to guide our ship. Hey Tim.
Good to be back.
Thank you very much for being here. You don't need a mid-season break, do you? Raring to go.
I've had a long break. Yeah. Nice and refreshed.
Well, would you like to introduce our guest for today?
Yeah, for the first time on No Tippy Tappy Football, I'd like to introduce someone I played against many, many times for Bolton, Blackburn possibly, but definitely Liverpool. And it's the legend that is Jason McAteer.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
So it take you 3 years. I've been waiting for 3 years.
He turned
for
him
this
down, I heard, all them times. He kept saying...
He was due on a couple of weeks ago, Tim. I wasn't going to bring that up.
I got caught in the Middle East, didn't I? And it was a bit like, and I got all my timings wrong and I had to change things around. So I apologise for that.
We appreciate you being here.
It's great. It's great catching up with Tim. I think it's our first time we've come together, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's right, yeah, we've kicked each other plenty of times, but good mates off the pitch.
Who kicked harder?
It don't matter. You just get up.
Was...
Don't matter, because back then you used to jump up and make out you're not hurt. Now it's a different story, isn't it? You know, you're trying to get each other sent off.
No, we had a bit of everything then. Clever, mix it, good leader. I'd like to have played with him, actually. I nearly did. Blackburn, there was a bit of an exodus under Brian Kidd, and a few of the big hitters got out. And Tim, obviously. Did you go Tottenham?
Yeah.
You went Tottenham, yeah. So I was disappointed that they sold me the dream.
Yeah.
Sutton.
Someone asked me the other day, they said, about when you was at Blackburn, you jumped ship when it was sinking. Like they were talking about the Tottenham players in relation. I said, no, there's only one reason I left Blackburn. They didn't want me. They didn't want me anymore. You know, Brian Kidd said, and Jack Walker come to me and said, I think it may be time that you leave Tottenham and want to take you. So it was a good option for me, obviously, but it was
wasn't your choice.
It was no jumping ship. I got quite offended by it.
And yet they're ringing me going, listen, Tim's there. You'll play with Tim in the middle. And I'm telling me the dream, and I get there and he's gone. So it's funny what they tell one person and what they tell another.
Yeah, your list of clubs: Liverpool, Bolton, Blackburn, Sunderland, Tranmere, and of course Republic of Ireland.
That's right. Yeah, Marine started at Marine, semi-professional.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I remember when they played, was it Spurs a few years ago?
Yeah, I went back actually. When was it? A couple of rounds ago with the FA Cup, because obviously the BBC were doing a big piece about communities and money that goes in and what the FA Cup brings. A bit of a feel-good factor for the FA Cup, and it was interesting to go back and brought some good memories back, yeah. But I actually did that Tottenham game. It was in COVID. Jose was the manager, but he gave a lot of money. They sold like virtual tickets or something, and he donated all the money from the Tottenham side of things to Marine, and they've done loads of stuff in the community and with the ground, and it's brilliant. It's really, really good.
God, gotta love the FA Cup.
Oh,
Magic of the
One
FA
of my
Cup.
favourites.
Yeah. So before we get onto football, obviously it is Cheltenham week this week. I will be there on Thursday. Cannot wait. Just hoping it stays dry. But
What are you wearing?
Oh,
because I seen
Jason
yesterday
McAteer.
what women are supposed to wear at Cheltenham. Tweed, a lot of tweed.
Yeah.
Like
I have the most amazing outfit. It's a long trench coat, kind of tweedy, with a matching long skirt.
Nice.
I've got a satin shirt with a little tie. And I've got a tie pin. Oh, it's gorgeous. Thanks for asking. I'm still debating. I know we're recording this on Tuesday and I'm going Thursday. I'm still debating. I've got a couple of options. Yeah. So yeah.
Check the weather.
It's drizzly, cold, so that makes me feel like a bigger hat maybe to cover my face. But yeah.
Are you
Thanks
working?
A lot. I am working, yeah. I am working, sadly. One year I'd like to go and not work and just sit and enjoy it. Oh, every year. This has been my 4th year. Yeah.
Yeah, I went, unfortunately, I went COVID, that one.
The one that spread it.
Yeah.
I was there then.
I was with some friends of mine, and we went. I had to do something with Helen Chamberlain, actually, which is another bit of a twist to a story. Because, I started
my hero, by the way. Growing up, I watched Helen Chamberlain, my absolute hero.
So I done Soccer AM, and she went to me off camera. She went, "You still got your white suit from the FA Cup? You know that story,
yes.
Right?"
Oh, yes.
So I had to go back even further.
Oh, yes.
And I went, "Yeah, I have, yeah." And she said, "Can I have it?" She was getting married. And planning to get married, I think, to James Wade.
Right.
Yeah, the Dallas player.
Some showbiz secrets.
Right.
And I think he wanted to wear it for the wedding. So I said, "Yeah, I'll send it down to you." So anyway, I got the suit to her. Anyway, they ended up, I think, splitting up. Well, they obviously did split up, but she kept the suit. And then when I was at Cheltenham, I said, "Have you still got that suit?" So she went, "Yeah." But I was just sort of getting phone calls of people saying, "There's a few quid in this suit." You know, people, the collector's items. Anyway, one of the lads, only about 6 months ago, got hold of me and said, I've been offered over 20 grand for the suit. So I'm going to ring Helen and see if she's still got it. I want it back. I might go halves with her.
Unless she's just been wearing it and it's mucky now.
Yeah, and it was mad because when I took it out the wardrobe, I don't know if you've done this. We obviously got beat 1-0 and I took my suit off. I put it in the suit carrier and then we've gone out after the game in London. And obviously I've got home and I've just hung it up. That suit has never been out the suit carrier until I give it to Helen Chamberlain. Start the flowering and everything.
It was never fitting in, was it?
No, it was a shocker.
I mean, would it fit you now? It probably would, wouldn't it?
It was massive. It was massive. Probably fits a bit better now. I put a bit of like that. I was like that. But they were the worst fitting suits. Yeah, they were the worst fitting suits. It was that bad. My dad used to get everything. I used to give him my trackies, my suit, everything.
And he turned it
down. Eve turned it down. It was that bad.
But it's iconic.
It's iconic.
Oh, it's iconic. And people should do it again in the FA Cup finals.
So I've digressed there. So I was at Cheltenham I was at Cheltenham for that one. And because I'm Irish, obviously it's full of Irish, isn't it? So
Paddy's
I felt
Day
it
Thursday, yeah.
So it's amazing day. Amazing. It's just in the middle of nowhere, though, isn't it?
Can't wait.
Lovely down there.
Yeah.
You always hear stories about footballers going and having a good day out at Cheltenham. Did you ever go when you were back when you playing days? Did a big group of you go or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Before there was phone cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, way before that, we went with Blackburn once. I'm not sure what day we went. I think they changed the days now and changed where the big races are when they come on. Because the big race now, the Gold Cup is on the Friday. So it's a lot. When I go, I try to go Tuesday because I think everyone gets a little bit tired. Yeah. You know, later on in the week, gets a little bit more aggressive down there. Yeah. I just think everyone's fresh and looking forward to it. So yeah, I've been a couple of times with the team, but I've been majority of the time on my own, with my friends. But
we're going to talk more about Spurs and we're also, of course, going to talk about Liverpool as well. But first up, just a big thank you as always to our sponsor. So don't forget that new Boyle Sports customers can get a bet £10, get £40 in free bets offer, plus a money back up to £10 on all losers in the first race every day at Cheltenham. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly. Right, let's go on to Spurs again, because obviously we talked about it quite a bit with you last week, but it's an ever-evolving story at the minute. Obviously, every loss, the danger for Spurs is becoming bigger and bigger. They were beaten by Palace. They've got, as we say, Atletico Madrid tonight, but this goes out tomorrow, so we'll know the score there. And then they've got Liverpool at Anfield at the weekend as well. Wow. So if they lose at Atletico, if they lose at Anfield, I mean, can he keep his job?
What about if they win them both?
Oh, I like that. Good attitude.
If they win them both, I mean...
Then yes, he does.
Then all of a sudden, them relegation fears are over. Yeah. I know they still need more points, but I think the confidence boost what they'll give to the players will be immense. So that's the way you have to think. If you're a manager, you have to think, we'll win these two games. And then we'll knock out Atletico when we play them at home. And then we play in the big cup final against Nottingham Forest at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we win that one, then we're in touching distance of achieving what we need to achieve, or certainly Igor Tudor, when he come into the club, his remit was to stay in the league and see how far you get in the Champions League. It's been difficult for him. It really has. It's been a difficult start, but they haven't been great, have they? He keeps chopping and changing, which is a worry, really, to 3 at the back. Then he goes with 4, then he goes back to 3. Players playing out of position, which doesn't help. Some of the decisions, I scratch my head to wonder why he's thinking about that. And he hasn't had the lift. He's a firefighter who's got a can of petrol in his hand at the moment, and he's put fuel to the fire rather than trying to restore some real confidence to the players. He hasn't done that. That bounce has not been there, but there's still time for him to do it. Hopefully he can turn it around. If he doesn't, to go to your question, it's going to be difficult for it. I think they might roll the dice again. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
Right before the end of the season.
Well, I think they're going to need to. I mean, if they don't see anything, I mean, there's an international break, so there's a 2-week break. So it's an opportunity to do it, so someone can come in and have a look. I mean, it's a disadvantage to whoever that might be, because there was obviously, or give them a mulligan on the Arsenal game, but not really. So they should have shown something in that game to give the fans a little bit of encouragement, but that never happened. And then you go away at Fulham, which I don't care about the injuries with Fulham, because Fulham would have liked that squad, what was up against them. And then Palace, where they didn't turn up, I know Micky Van der Ven gets himself sent off, but still, it shouldn't mean the capitulation what it was at the end. So it's making it very difficult. They've gone from, when I was here last week, to be possibly outsiders to get relegated to maybe joint favourites to get relegated now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the added pressure for them is in the relegation battle. They are the story, aren't they? Because of the size of the club.
Yeah.
Everyone's eyes are on them. It kind of leaves West Ham and Forest, Leeds to kind of go under the radar and do their stuff and try and get out of it. And, I think having played in relegation battles and been down there, you've got to try and create some momentum. Obviously, confidence is a great boost to have in a football club, but if you don't have any, it can be a real problem. And they've obviously changed the manager. He's come in. There's starting a few rumours coming out about his management style and how things have gone since he's been in there. And, I think the way he's gone in there, I think results have reflected the fact he's gone in with a kind of an iron fist rather than maybe put his arm around a few players, maybe, tell them what they want to hear. I think my experience of being down there and losing Peter Reid at Sunderland, a bit of a story. We lose at Arsenal, international break, and Peter Reid says to the lads, listen, you're off. You're in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We start again Monday. And then he's sacked, and Howard Wilkinson comes in on the Wednesday. And the first thing he says to us, having the lads booked holidays with families and trips away and all that, is you're all in at the weekend and we're all doing tests and bleep tests and that. And it just set the tone. It was like straight away you felt, he's not won the lads around. We're kind of against them. It's not great management. And it's strange really with Howard because he's had years of experience. You would have thought he might have handled the situation better, but that was the way it was. And it took him a while to win a few of the players round. And unfortunately, he couldn't create any momentum. And, that's my story of being down there when a manager comes in and starts throwing things rather than
I think people will look at, you're looking at the Tottenham fans certainly will be looking at who's the competition here. West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Leeds. They've all shown some fight.
Yeah.
Tottenham fans are looking at their team and seeing no fight.
Yeah.
The players have been brought in for a different. I think the objective always for a Tottenham player when he comes to the club is can he play in the Champions League? Now they've all come with that in mind. They're not in that position, so they can they acclimatise to being down there, and it is a nervous play. I mean, people talk about the nerves at the top. When you're down the bottom, it's even more so. Certainly for any manager or the fans, because this catastrophe, if that happens, that cannot happen at Tottenham. You cannot get relegated, but it's a realistic proposition now. When I went to Villa. When I took over from Paul Lambert there, the first thing I did is made it a little bit more fun and took the shackles off him a little bit and made him attack a lot more in numbers. Identified who the leadership group was within the dressing room. I created a little cartel where I would treat them a little bit different to the rest. Bring them into my office, have the chats with them. I had Fabian Delph, great lad, Tom Cleverley, Westwood, three English boys. Jack had hardly played, but I got my arm around him and told him he would make the difference, and he eventually did for us. And then I felt where we're going to score the goals, which you need. We had Agbon Lahore and we had Christian Benteke. So what we needed to do was supply them with some service. So you find a system what suits. But whatever I decided, they bought into, especially them three in the engine room in the middle of the park, and they give us that encouragement. And I look at, there's a result the other night when West Ham win on a penalty shootout. And the Tottenham fans, I hear them now talking about, well, that's good news, they're still in that, they'll concentrate on that. Oh. It's the worst news possible because we did that when I was at Villa. We continued to win in the FA Cup. A win's a win. It brings confidence. And what it also does, it makes people jump off the physio bench because they want to play at Wembley. Yeah. They want to play in these big games.
From Wembley, yeah.
So do you know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden they start getting all the the fitness problems they've got at Tottenham now. I mean, some of them are long-term. They start getting themselves fit. And then in-house competition, they start playing at a level where you haven't recognised before because they all want to play at Wembley. They all want to win something. As a footballer, we all just want to play football to win. And the confidence what that breeds. And then we ended up, at the end of the season, resting players in the Premier League to play in the cup final, which, eventually we got beat, but we done the job because we had travelled and with the two-legged game against Liverpool in the semi-final. I mean, it's a magnificent achievement for the club, and by continuing and having that run in the FA Cup, it give us the confidence to win games and the in-house competition for them to play at their best level in the Premier League. So that was why, in my eyes, I always believe why we stayed up. And West Ham have got that now. Leeds have got that still because they play each other. So
but surely Spurs could get that from the Champions League.
They could.
I heard a headline of his press conference the other day saying, obviously, the Premier League is a priority. Okay, that it doesn't need to be said. But he said something along the lines of he's going to look at his squad for the Atletico game. Surely.
He can't do much anyway, can he?
Yeah, but surely he's not going to.
No.
He's not going to rest anyone. He's not going to, for a Champions League knockout game.
No, we replace Micky Van der Ven and Romero because that's the two of his best centre-backs. Micky Van der Ven's going to be suspended anyway for the Liverpool game. So he might as well play him there. I can't see him resting players, no. I think it would be football suicide for him to do that.
If you go to Atletico Madrid and win there, surely the confidence you take into the next game.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, but on a different level, because obviously the competition, to win that competition, you have to be a top draw side. But the luck, like any cup competition, the luck is in the draw. They've had favourable games up to now to get to where they are, and we give them credit for where they got to. But the priority, the bread and butter, obviously should be the Premier League. But you're absolutely right. To beat Atletico and to progress, that breeds confidence. And like I say, it will give him more options because they'd all jump off the physio bench to be fit for them games. Because that's why in their heads, they believed that they should be in the Champions League.
Just quickly though, I mean, when he first came in, his first game against Arsenal, I think it was a bit of an anticipation of how he's going to play. We knew it was 3 at the back, but was it going to be 3? Was it going to be 5? Was he going to drop deep? Was he going to ask questions of Arsenal? I mean, to go to toe, this was the red flag for me. His appointment, it kind of adds up on paper and you can paint it where it looks good, as in he's done it in Italy, he's done it with Juventus, he's done it with whoever. But can he come into the Premier League, not knowing the league, not knowing the players, not knowing the teams, and go toe-to-toe with Arsenal? I think it was suicide. I just thought, wow, this could really be more hurtful. I'd rather them have been tough to beat, and maybe not been as attractive as he's wanted them. I think he's gone in there and gone, I need to get the fans something. I need to get them on their feet. I need to go. Arsenal were just always going to pick them off in the end. I know they got the goal back and it was a mistake with Declan Rice, but you just always felt they were never in it. And I just thought,
especially 3 at the back when you haven't got 3 centre halves. He's playing Paulinho in the back 4, in the back 3. So
it's like he shoehorned them in to get them to play quite an expansive way of playing, but against the top of the table team in a massive game, it was. I feel sorry for him, Chase, because he's never been in a relegation battle before. People say he's a firefighter. He's a firefighter taking teams from Europa League to Champions League, mid-table.
Or Udinese is the only team, and they were 5th bottom when he went in there, and they finished 5th bottom. And he had 4 games. That's the only, and that wasn't a relegation. That's a small side. That's not Tottenham. The equivalent job what he's coming to now is Juve being in the relegation zone, and then trying to keep them out.
Yeah, it's a different ask. Yeah.
So if it does go wrong, and as you say, you think that they would gamble again. Obviously, everybody's been talking about Harry and should he have got it. I mean, would you pick up your phone, Tim? Would you fancy it again?
I just don't. It's hard for me because of my association with the club to turn anything like that down. But when you look at it in the cold light of day, what is the upside of it? For me, I'm from North London. When you walk around North London, you're either red or you're white. I enjoy living in the area as well. It's all right for Igor Tudor. He can just leave and go to wherever he's going to, Croatia or Italy or wherever he's going to go. And, whatever money he's picked up, he can just take it and run with it. I've got to live with that. I've got to live with that. I'd have to seriously consider the downside as well as the upside, because if I would have done it, if you would have said 3 games ago, I would have said 100%. I would do it 100% because you've got 2, maybe 3 winnable games. The Arsenal game, like I said, is going to be very difficult, but the other 2 games were certainly winnable. And even with the injuries, I believe that they had the players available to them to win 2 of them games, and then after job's done. So it obviously would be considered, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one to live with. You don't want to be that man who takes Tottenham to relegation.
Gosh, yeah.
Especially when you have to live in the area.
Yeah.
That don't help.
I don't want it.
Yeah. Me neither.
We've
We've ruled ourselves out.
I'm ruling myself out right now.
We're good, but thanks. We were talking last week as well about Xavi Simmons, and you were saying how you would put your arm around him, how you would really, really big him up and tell him that he was the one and get his confidence levels up. He only played 15 minutes against Palace. Obviously, that the red card changed the game as well. But what did you think when you saw that he wasn't playing?
Well, I just think he is one player. Look, he hasn't done it. You have to hold his hands up and say that he hasn't. But if I was talking to him, I would say there's mitigating circumstances why he hasn't done it, because perhaps you're not being used in the correct way. We're not getting you the ball early enough. But like I say, I don't want him to play safe. I mean, he's dribbling with the ball. He's having plenty of touches, but is he doing anything with it? He's got the ability to do it. So I would have him in the side, because I'm looking at what the other options are, and I think he's better than what he's got, what his competition is. But he needs to improve, but it's just a way of looking him in the eye and believing that he's on side to what you need to achieve, which is safety, and he could be a hero at the club, moving forward. They've assembled a very expensive group of players there. I mean, I say it time and time again, and I think we worked out last week it was hundreds of millions of pounds. What players now? Forget the injury ones. What are available to him? So there's still time for them to do it, but players like Xavi Simmons has to be given the opportunity, and you have to play him in the correct position so he can express himself. I talked about Conor Gallagher last week. I mean, why is he playing Conor Gallagher if you're going to play him on the right wing? He's not on Max Downham. You saw that young superstar. He can play on the wing and look like a winger. He can play as an 8 and look like an 8. He can play as a 10. Connor's not got that. Connor's up and down midfielder. He's an 8 who sees opportunities to get in the box and maybe score a goal, but he's got energy to go up and down. They've got plenty of them players. Not fit at the moment. He's one of them, but if you're going to play him, don't play him out there. Play someone else. Because if you're playing Conor Gallagher out there, what's Mathys Tel thinking? What's Kolo Muani thinking? What is Xavi Simmons thinking? Players who play in that position. So,
we know a bit about what Mathys Tel is thinking, by the way, because he recently appeared on a podcast in France. And on that podcast, he slammed Thomas Frank a bit, and he said, I disagree with Thomas on my role within the team, and he didn't like me for it. He didn't look to try and fix things, and I was confused why I was sat on the bench.
It's funny, it's easy to be critical of a manager, isn't it, when you're not his kind of player or he hasn't picked you. And when you're out the team, there's always going to be that friction, isn't there? If you're playing for him week in, week out, you're the manager's favourite, you'll have a different opinion on him, won't you? So, yeah, it's disappointing that he's come out and said that, especially in the light of what's going on. Maybe let the season finish and, open up that way. But, to be critical of a manager when he's not pictured is quite an easy thing to do, isn't it?
Should he be looking inward as well, obviously, from your experience? How much can he blame the manager? How much should he be looking at himself, pointing a finger at himself? I mean, he's statistically 22 games, 3 goals, no assists.
Yeah, it's not been the most productive, is it? But he's not the reason why they're in that position. Maybe he will look at himself and think, yeah, I probably could have done better. But footballers are a strange breed, aren't they? They're quick enough to point the finger at other people rather than themselves and look in the mirror, and that's the thing. That goes back to my point before. It's when you look at the appointments of Tudor, it is a bit of a strange one. I think the sporting directors and the powers that be have tried to be maybe a little bit clever in the appointments. He's actually learning on the job. I mean, I sit there and listen to Tim there, and he goes through the team and he's talking about players, but he's talking about their attitude and where they play and their positions and that. I'm not saying Tim will be the ideal person to go in, but that's the kind of person you need who knows the team, who knows the players week in, week out, has watched them, knows their attribute, knows their strengths, but also is a good man manager. That's what it needs right now, is someone who can manage that team, not someone who comes in with a tactical iron fist and goes, right, you're going to do this, double sessions, we're going to run, we're going to do 10K, and I want you to do that. And the lads are just like, there's no confidence there already. You want someone, like Tim said, to put her arm around Xavi Simmons, tell him for the next 6 weeks he's the best player he's ever seen, get something out of him. This is what I want you to do, prize him into it. Yeah. Other players might need a kick up the backside. I remember training at Liverpool. Stan Collymore was giving the ball away all the time. Roy Evans would be, come on, Stan. I give the ball away. He was on me. What are you giving the ball away for? And after saying that, I was having a bit of a sulk up. And everyone would go to me, listen, you need to kick up the backside. He needs an arm around the shoulder. And it always stuck with me, that. And that's good man management. These lads know the team inside out, but they also know players. I'm worried for Tom. I'm worried for Tom.
And that's why you have to get to know the individuals you're talking about. And that's why it's so difficult for someone else, like you're saying, will they make a change again? He ain't got long. You got to hit the floor running. So you've wasted 3 weeks straight away if he was going to make a change with the man you just brought in. So you can't keep rolling the dice because the manager has to go in there. He hasn't got a magic wand. He doesn't know from the outside. He thinks he knows, but until you sit next to him and you look him in the eye, you don't know what these characters are like. Wow. But you can gauge that, and you can gauge it very quickly. But it's very difficult when you're running out of time.
It's got to be Harry, isn't it? I just feel like you're talking about Harry.
There's a few there. Yeah. I mean, this was a great point that Tim made. He's got to live in. He's got to live in the area, and he's got to do this. And it might not go well. There's no magic wand, to management. There's an element of luck right now, and he's right. They're running out of time. It would have been nice to have gone in there 3 games ago. All right, Arsenal's a free hit, but he should have been taking points out the next 2 games. They are out there, but.
But if you go in, Tim, don't forget, if you go in the international break, don't cancel the holidays. Okay? Let them go on holiday first. And then...
They've had enough holidays.
Okay? 2 days, 2 or 3 days off. Yeah.
Obviously, we mentioned Micky Van der Ven before. In terms of your former side, Liverpool, we know that they're on the lookout. They need a centre-back. Do you think he's top of their list?
It looks that way. They missed out on Mark Gay in the summer. I was a little bit surprised that they let it go to the winter window to try and do the business. Because
very happy about it.
Yeah, because you always bring competition in then, don't they? Because, other teams are looking for players maybe in that position. And, obviously City have got there before Liverpool. And I think they missed out on one there. But then they've gone and addressed it. Leone came in at the beginning of the season, obviously picked up the really bad injury, which is set him back. And we brought in Xhaka as well. So I know he's not coming till next season, but he is quality and they have spent a lot of money on him. So he would be looking at maybe playing in the team, but they do need another centre-half, There are a couple out there, but Micky Van der Ven seems to be. And it'll be interesting to see how it develops at Tottenham, because if they do go down, they will be looking to offload players, and Liverpool might nick someone a little bit cheaper.
I think he's the obvious choice for that left side there. There's not many about. There is one other, Branthwaite, but he ain't going to Liverpool.
No, he's not going across the city.
So it opens up the door there for Micky to go in there as a Liverpool player. I think he'd do well for him. I really do. I think he's got all the attributes to be a top draw player. I don't think he's a finished article. I really don't. I think he needs to develop still. But he needs to play with someone like Van Dijk, possibly. Even Robbo, if he's going to be, it looks like he's going to leave at the end of the season, but experienced players, good players who we can look up to, because he's not the leader we think he is at the moment. And I still think he needs to be shown how to lead. And you can learn on the job. You're not born a leader. I think you just learn from experiences and watching others around. And it's not necessarily from the managers, it's from your peers. It's from the players. I used to watch players I played against. I used to watch players who I played with, and they help you out more than the manager does, because they're with you every single minute of that. You're at the training ground, you're in the dressing rooms, you're in the training pitch. They're talking to you. You're picking bits up, what not to do and what to do. So it's a learning curve, and I think Micky's still learning. But he's a good option. It's
a big area for Liverpool to address, because if you look at, they've struggled obviously at right back because of injuries, but let's say Conor Bradley comes in, he is relatively new to that position. All right, he's been at the club a while, but to slot back in, he's not been in there long term, so he's quite new. Your Kerkez has only just come this season. Your Konate, who might leave because he's out of contract, and Virgil's probably got a year left in him. So whoever comes in, Tim's right. You're looking for a big personality, the finished article, and they don't come cheap. But you're looking for that leader. There's not a lot of leaders in that Liverpool team. You're looking for someone, with a lot of experience and leadership. Whether he's the man, Micky Van der Ven, remains to be seen. But it's a big...
I like Murillo. I really like him. I think he's got all the attributes to be a top player at Nottingham Forest, and he steps in well. He's a good passer of the ball. A little bit... He's undersized, isn't he?
I love when you say undersized.
But he can cope, he can cope with the environment, and he's been in the Premier League, and I think it'd be difficult for him to keep him.
course, 4 wins from the last 4 games for Liverpool. Suddenly the pressure that was bubbling under Arne Slot seems to have...
There.
Do you think? I feel like it's chilled. I feel like we're looking at Spurs now.
No, do you know what's happening? It's like we kind of, it was the most underwhelming run of 12, 13 games we had. It was like, whoa. And then, we go and lose against Bournemouth and it just all whips up again. You just think the dust has settled. And then it comes back to haunt us again, and then it's on everyone's lips. Should we make a change? Should this happen? Should he go? And it's like, and then we go on another run, and then we go and get beat by Wolves, and all the questions come out again. He's certainly fighting the critics at the minute, Arne. 29 games in, it's arguably his team now. He's made a lot of changes. Tactically, he's changed it. It's not certainly a Jurgen. He's very much pragmatic to Jurgen's adventure and expansive football. If you look at the stats now, 29 games in, they're out, and he's got to justify the way he's playing now. We're not pressing as high, we're not creating as many chances in the final third. And these data guys and analysis guys, they give you everything, don't they? Against Wolves, Liverpool knocked it around the back for 55 seconds. They're not progressive. They don't play through the lines quick. From the brand of football we've had, we've been spoilt, and expectations are here with Liverpool, and we've loved every the 7 years we've had on Jurgen. But it's a different brand of football. We've got to get used to it. Do
you think he needs to concentrate on his own team, the way they play, rather than worrying about and commenting on how other teams play against his side? He's obsessed with how other teams play against his team. I think he needs to concentrate on how his team plays.
Yeah,
it's not great to watch.
Yeah, it's been a year of transition. When you try and get that many players into the team, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of dynamics, I think, to probably why Liverpool haven't been as successful. Or, when they made all the signings, we thought we was going to go on and win the league again, didn't we, and dominate. And it hasn't been like that. Listen, there's players who have come into that dressing room, big players, 120 million for Isak, who hasn't won the league. He's probably on more money than some of them league winning. The dynamics of the dressing room have changed. And he's brought in like 3, 4, sometimes 5 players that should go in the first team. The whole dressing room dynamics changed. Yeah. He's changed philosophy. The passing of Diogo as well, which is unprecedented. I go out with the Liverpool lads, the older lads. We're very close, and I remember sitting with dinner and I was going, "Has it ever happened to you?" Not one of us. It's not one of us have lost a player in the dressing room that we played with. And
you can't imagine.
You can't imagine like what they've been through. It's very, very different. He was a big character in the dressing room, Diogo. So they've had that to deal with. There's a lot of things gone on, and it's just becoming a slow process. We've liked to have hit the ground running, but it's just not been the case.
Florian Wirtz has said that. Obviously he's starting to look like the player that Liverpool bought. He said that Salah has helped him to settle in. Yeah. Talking about Liverpool not having many leaders, is that a side of Salah that perhaps has been underestimated this year, the leadership that he still brings?
Yeah, Tim mentioned it before, clubs now have leadership, what do they call them, leadership committees, leadership group, Virgil being he's certainly in there, he's a big presence in the dressing room. Listen, he's a superstar, isn't he? And a lot of players will look up to him, but when he speaks, people will listen. And I don't really know his character in that dressing room. I don't really know him. He's quiet to the outside world, whether he has a lot to say in that dressing room. Vert seems to think so, yeah. But there's they are a close-knit group. I think the Diogo situation would have brought them a lot closer. A lot of players wouldn't have known him, but they would have felt it in the dressing room. But he's obviously highlighted Salah as one of the people who's helped him settle in, yeah.
If Salah does leave this summer,
when?
When? You think it's a when?
Yeah, I'd agree with Tim. Yeah.
Well, when he leaves this summer, where would he rank in your eyes in terms of Liverpool's greatest players?
It's funny because I was talking to the lads off camera before when I come in. It's, I think that question of like legends and greatest, it's like, first of all, what is the criteria? I don't think it's ever been nailed down. Is it longevity? Is it titles? Is it a bit of everything? Is it, is it
how you feel about them as well? Yeah.
I always think it's generational. Like, you look kids now, they go Salah. Generation before that will be Steven Gerrard. My generation's Kenny.
Kenny.
It's like it just swaps and changes, doesn't it? But I think from a statistical point of view, what he's won, what he's delivered for the football club, you'd have to put him in the top 5. You'd have to.
Yeah, 100%. He's a superstar. Yeah. He's one of the best foreign imports we've ever seen in the Premier League, and we can't go away from that. I think he's not ruined his legacy. He's tarnished it. I don't. You talk about leaders. We're talking about there with Wirtz and Salah's helped him out. He didn't help out the whole club with a negative thing what he did with the press. I mean, making a beeline in that mix zone and speaking to I think it was premeditated, and I think it was a selfish thing to do. But still, for me, it doesn't take away that he's an absolute genius on the pitch and a fantastic. And the numbers speak for themselves. You know, he's the reason, and it's a team game, but he is the main reason why they won a couple of titles and a Champions League as well. So,
despite the struggles this season, would you still say that Mo Salah is world class?
Well, I think he's not the same player, but I can say that about a lot of Liverpool players. They're not the same players as what we saw last year or previously. But I still think he can get it back. I still think I would find it very difficult to leave him out of the team. I really would at the moment. You know, Isak's got the injury. Ekitika's done brilliant. I mean, he's done really well. Wirtz has had the injuries as well. I probably, even though I like Cody Gakpo, I think he threatens a goal every time he plays. I probably would always play Mo Salah over Cody Gakpo.
He's a game changer. He's a game changer. But it goes back to, you know, again, you look at the data and the stats and, you know, the way Arne's playing, it's not as expansive as the way Jurgen played, which was very high. They'd win the ball a lot in the final third in really good positions to give Salah opportunities to go and score and post the numbers he did. You know, Arne's team drops back. They're not as aggressive with the press. Mo will pick the ball up in a different area now. He'll have a lot more to do. Age is catching up with him, expectation. And, you know, I mean, Tim could probably speak better than me because he's obviously won the title. But I always praise Guardiola for the job he's done because he's kept the desire and the hunger to go again, to do it 4 times on the spin is just phenomenal. Yeah. You know, when you win something as a footballer, yeah, you want to do it again, but is that desire quite there to go and do it when it's tough? You know, do you want to run that extra yard? Do you want that? You've already got a couple in the bank. You've already got a Champions League, you know, so it's very, very difficult. I think there's a bit of that as well in the Liverpool dressing room. So yeah, it's been a difficult season for Mo, and he set the bar so high. Yeah, I mean, you can't keep going to the well, can you?
He's had to adapt his game, isn't he? I mean, I remember in them Jurgen days when Virgil used to get the ball and hit that diag stream long, just smash it out there to the right wing. And he used to, I mean, you'd think because of his size, he's never going to be able to hold the ball up. He's so strong. He just pins people. He holds it. They get under the ball. He runs in behind. He had everything, but he got the ball earlier. And obviously, with Trent not being there now, Trent was his fuel, you know, and he's really missed him. The Frimpong's not the answer for him because I'm not sure
he's had 5 right backs this season.
Yeah, so it's been difficult.
It's tough.
Do you think people have quickly forgotten how good he is and the standard that he was? Has he? No, has he been
quickly forgotten?
Has he been disrespected?
In what sense?
By the fans, by the media, by the football world, forgetting what he's done previously. Or is that that's just the way
we all move on very, very quickly, don't we? 1 minute you're the flavour, next minute you're not. You know, you're out the team, you're forgotten very quickly, aren't you? We move on. There's so much, isn't it, to enjoy, and there's so much out there now that we're all invested in. It's, you know, you have a couple of bad games and you're the worst player in the world, innit? But then you come back, score a hat-trick. It's a fickle industry, innit?
It's so fickle.
But I think within the Liverpool camp, which we are, you know, we're always indebted to him. And like I said, he's in the top 5, which I'm not being funny. If you're in the top 5 Liverpool players of the greatest, you're something. You are absolutely so. I'm not even in the top 100. There you go. That's how hard it is to get in that 5. So yeah, he's a genius on his day. Listen, he can be frustrating and he can be annoying. Like Tim said, you know, I was a little bit disappointed with him coming out and what he said and how he handled himself because he didn't need to do it. That was probably the biggest disappointment. But listen,
you can easily forgive him for that.
Oh yeah,
I think for what he's done for the football club. And like I said, I was disappointed with it, but I've got no affiliation to Liverpool apart from I like the football club. I always have. I just feel like he can be forgiven.
I feel like I'm not in a naughty mood today, Jason, or I was going to try and push you there for your top 5. I feel like
go on.
Oh, well, you said Gerrard, Salah,
listen,
and Kenny.
Again, generational. Kenny was because he inspired me to want to play football, and I was Kenny in the park scoring in the FA Cup final.
Well, obviously, I'm Scottish, so Kenny is God to me. Yeah,
And Tim's played for him. He's G. I love him. And then you've got Stephen next. I would then go Barnsley.
We've had him on.
Oh, he's a legend.
And we've had Kenny on here as well. Yep.
Barnsley. And then I go Mo. And then I go...
Mo over Robbie.
Well,
this is where you could get in trouble.
I go Graham's 5.
Should we?
Yeah. And you know what, right? I've obviously not seen him live, but I've seen a lot of footage and stuff. And then you speak to the football people who grew up watching him and that, and you know they just put him up there as, some of them put him as 1. He was that influential. He was that much of a leader. He was that good. But we only get Jockey's top 10, and Robbie's top 10, Suarez is top 10. Again, Suarez was hardly there, was he? I'd put Suarez as the best one season ever from a Liverpool player. He would win that.
Where was Mo?
Mo's 4 behind Barnsley. Just love Barnsley.
People don't understand that. I speak to people like your young generation talk about John Barnes is the best player I ever played with, or one of, and they were like, who? I'm like, no, mate, we've finished through this conversation.
I mean, you put Rushy in there, yeah. I mean, you put Rushy in.
See, this is what
Rushy
I mean.
6, maybe.
Dangerous, you're going to upset people.
Rushy 6. I mean, he scored, 340 goals, Rushy?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Suarez?
He's top 10. Louis, yeah. But then you go Suarez, Torres.
We've put 15 in the top 10.
It's a good problem to have that.
How hard is it?
Yeah. It's tough.
It's a joke, isn't it?
It's tough.
They had some players.
Oh,
I love Ronnie. I mean, what a player Ronnie Whelan was. Just a phenomenal talent. Yankee, yeah. And then you've got Stevie Mac. Proper legends.
Some list.
So most 4. There you go. It's pretty good, isn't it?
That is some list. Thank you. Yeah. I wasn't going to push you for that. I felt bad. I thought you're probably going to offend some friends.
I get asked a lot
by doing that.
I get asked a lot. Yeah,
okay.
So it's kind of it.
So none of your friends mind then,
even Mo would take 4 at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think he would understand.
I don't know. Tim, I think he'd want to be 1.
Yeah.
Mo. I think he's got a bit of that in him.
Yeah.
Do you think if he's not 1, he's going to beeline to the mix zone again?
Yeah. If this comes out, he sees he's mix zone at the weekend. Straight in. Not happy with it.
Just a couple more Liverpool points. We mentioned Cody Gakpo. Do you think he could leave this summer? There's talks of him leaving.
You can't sell them all, can you?
Yeah. Is he not happy? Why are the...
Cody, listen, I think he... Listen, in every football club, there's when it's not going well, there's always someone who takes the blame, or always someone that the fans sort of point a finger at. I felt unfairly it's been him this season at times. They've been a bit critical of him. I think the manager trusts him. I think he puts a shift in when they haven't got the ball. He's becoming a bit predictable. I'd like to see him go down the outside a couple more, just mix it up a little bit. But he plays his part. Yeah. Diaz was a big miss, but again, we talk about tactics and philosophies, and Arne might not have seen him as was maybe what he needed. Maybe Cody was what he needed to play his brand of football. And obviously Diaz is gone, but he's not really been pushed on that side for someone else playing in that position. Rio Ingamo was a little bit young, a little bit, maybe on the trust side again. So Cody gets probably more game time than maybe some fans would want. But I think he's decent, Cody.
Right, other football topics that are around. Obviously, we mentioned the FA Cup right at the start of the show. Now, it was FA Cup weekend just gone. There's a couple of interesting results. So, Fulham beaten by Championship Southampton. Obviously, Fulham very comfortable in the Premier League, sitting comfortably mid-table, 12 points above relegation. Fulham have never won a major trophy. They made 9 changes for that FA Cup game. I covered the game before that when they played Stoke, and they made the similar number of changes there, and they scraped through on that game. They got a goal in the last 10 minutes to get through that game. I cannot get my head around it, Tim. You are comfortably mid-table. Why are you risking that? They could have been in the quarters.
No idea. I think Marco's a good manager, and he obviously wants to keep the group happy, but what for? And I would argue, what are you trying to keep them happy for? Is try and win a trophy. The club want to win a trophy. Palace showed last year it can be done.
Right.
Why can't they do it? They can beat anyone on their day. I think Marco would argue with a team I picked is capable of beating a side who are improved in the Championship. Southampton have done very well, and he's probably right. But when you make wholesale changes, Jason will tell you, no cohesion. You're throwing them all together and they haven't played together before. So it's not about the changes, about the quality, what every individual has. It's like they never played together. They've got to learn about each other, learn on the job. You know, a couple of training sessions previous to the game, not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough, not in the heat of the fight. So I was really surprised. I really, really was, and disappointed really for the Fulham fans. And even though I think he's a great manager, I think he will move on from Fulham. He will certainly move on this summer because he's not signed a contract. But I just feel it's an opportunity for him to go and nick a trophy.
Definitely.
You know, be a little bit more selfish for yourself. You know, because if he goes, we've seen what Martinez done when he won a trophy at Wigan, didn't we?
Right.
The FA Cup. He knows that. Managers, clubs, big clubs, they want to say, has he won anything? You know, they look at Marcus Silva and say, well, has he won anything? And if you say, well, he's won an FA Cup with Fulham, the same with Roberto, like what happened at Wigan. All of a sudden, it just opens up doors for you.
Does it frustrate you? Have you been part of a team where there's been mass rotation and you think, why? Why?
Because we always wanted to play.
Yeah.
It wasn't just every game, but we loved the FA Cup as well. I'm sure I can speak for you, can't I? Like, you know, it was one you wanted to win as a player. I just mentioned it before. I grew up watching the FA Cup. It's great memories, and I aspired to play in the FA Cup final. That's where I wanted to play. I was lucky to play for Liverpool. You know, they talk about an unbelievable day out, but I listening to Tim there, he's 100% right. The positives outweigh the negatives, and I'm really disappointed with what Silva's done at Fulham. You know, to take a team to an FA Cup final, the confidence it gives the players, the boost for the football club, the revenue it'll create. You know, you're putting yourself on a different path from a learning point of view, learning curve. It's like, it's where the players want to play. They want to come back for more. And they learn a lot about themselves as players. The desire gets in there, and, you know, you can start doing a lot more. So to change it, I understand there'll be fringe players who want to play, but then you're looking at them, you know, for the character, they're going to sulk. You know, like Tim said, the cohesion of the team, you know, they're going to, you know, you just don't know what you're going to get. And it's played out where they've lost the game. And, you know.
Because Reggie's, what did he do? 2 changes. But the most important player for Sunderland this season is who?
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka. He didn't play him.
He didn't play Xhaka.
No, so why don't you play Xhaka? If you play Xhaka, I know you say, well, it's just one player. They should be able to beat Port Vale. You play Xhaka, you beat Port Vale. Or Xhaka you get them going on the pitch. The only reason you can get beat off a team at that level in League One, the bottom of the league, is because you're not at it.
It's complacency, 100%. You need your biggest leader in the team.
100%.
You know, I mean, it was Barnsley for us. You know, I remember having loads of big games for Liverpool in the sense of FA Cup. You know, Shrewsbury, Liverpool away. You know, it's freezing. You go there, the pitch, the dressing room. Yeah, you can walk in there and go. But then as soon as you're out there and Barnsley's looking at you and you're thinking, whoa, I got to put a shift in today. And you end up winning the game. It becomes easy. You know, you can make it really hard for yourself. You have people like him in the team, you know, who were telling, you know, the younger players, maybe you might make 1 or 2 changes, 3 changes, maybe 4 changes, but you have your leader in there. And also the kids, they don't want to let him that, you know, he's telling them that, you know, it's a lift. It's a big disappointment when I see like 8 or 9 changes and then Sunderland against Xhaka. You're playing in the team. You could make 3 or 4 changes and still have Xhaka in the team. You'll get a result.
Or do it the other way around, Jay. Get the job done, bring them off.
Yeah.
Win the game. First 2 goals, bring them off. And these pitches now, I mean, I go back to Arsenal. Like Max Dowland was a superstar, the kid. He's never played on a pitch in his life like that. I mean, you know, these kids come on the billiard tables they're playing on through the academies. He's gone there and he's played and he's been a superstar. So credit to the boy. And people will say, oh, it's only them. It's only Mansfield. So, but he's got a player who's up against on that mud bath. It was like throwback, you know what I mean? And you have to give credit for him to be able to do it.
The other thing in the mix as well is, you know, it's not the 3rd round.
Right.
You know, you've got your last 8.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a chance of that.
You can see the Wembley.
You can see it. There's that in the mix. And I get it with the big boys, the pride, and that's not disrespecting Fulham, but, you know, you look at a Man City, a Liverpool, there's Champions League this week. You know, they prioritise because of the financial, you know, stuff that goes into things.
Mid-table teams.
But a mid-table team like Fulham, it was safe.
And Sunderland.
Go and win the FA Cup.
Yeah. But even if you're not safe, I made that point earlier.
Yeah,
we wasn't safe, but a win's a win.
West Ham have got a bit of confidence,
and get your fans on the up, and plus in-house competition. All of a sudden, your training sessions become a little bit livelier, and you've got more options to choose from. And because they all want to play in the big games, and the big games will win the trophies are on the table. I was disappointed with it.
Yeah,
Same.
I always am.
Same.
Me too.
Okay, there was a good quote this weekend from Liam Rossinia that I'd like to get both of your opinions on Joao Pedro, who obviously is in incredible form right now. Joao Pedro is now in the same bracket as the likes of Kane, Mbappe and Haaland. So he said, for me, Joao is that category now.
Who put him in that? Who put him in that category?
Liam.
Oh, that's his.
For me, Joao is in that category now.
I would put him in. I
Yeah.
would 100% put him in that category privately. I'm not sure I would have come out. Yeah,
You're as good as Mbappe.
Mate, I've had Harry Kane. You're better than him, you know.
Yeah.
You've got more to go. When you go and
I believed you when you said that.
no, but
when you
go in front of the media, sometimes you just have to rein it in. He's not at that level. He's not at that level. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player. And possibly out of all the centre forwards who've gone in, like the Seshkos, who else have we had?
Voltemade.
Haaland.
Gorkarez. He's probably the best signing. He probably is. His all-round game is very good. He holds the ball up fantastically well. He scores goals. He scores the tap-ins as well. I mean, this kid, he's going to go to the World Cup with Ancelotti, but he won't play. That just shows you how good they are. Richarlison will play in front of him. He's ahead of him. I mean, because they don't. Cunha plays. We've got Esteval, Rafinha. Who else have got? Vinny Jr. I mean, good luck trying to get a game in their team. But he's going the right way. I really like him. I think he's fantastic. I watched him when he was a young kid at Watford. And he had something about him. Just had that drive and determination. He wants to run around. He wasn't a Brazilian who just wanted to play when the sun shined. Not like I'm categorising all of them, but he was fantastic. And I think his all-round game's great, but he's not Kane and he ain't Haaland at the moment.
He's in incredible form, but
Yeah, I went the game. I was invited by Wrexham on Saturday, went the game. And Tim's right, when you look at footballers sometimes, some of them have just something else. He glides, he's got a great touch, his movement's good. When he wants to do it, he can do it. He can produce something out of nothing. He's gone on a run, scored his goal, hasn't he? Then he got whacked a couple of times and then he gets up a little bit ginger. I think it's between the ears with him. And I was just listening to you there. I don't know whether Liam's actually just threw it out there to say to him, right, I've just gone and put you in this bracket, right? You go and show the world. I've told the world you are. Now you go and show it. It could be a bit of that psychology. Yeah. The other way to do it is like Tim said, you put the arm around him and you say, listen, I think you are real. You're up there with them. You show me it. But he's kind of like put it out to the world as if he wants a bit more out of him. And I can understand that, having watched him on
right,
Saturday.
You're in the dressing room with him. Yeah. The manager's just said that about him. You're his teammate. Are you going in the next day and saying, do not believe that?
Did you mean that? Did you really mean that?
I'm not sure they say it to each other now, but back in the day, I would have said,
you would laugh.
Hey, Mbappe.
God, he must have had a heavy night. Like.
Did you really say Mbappe? Yeah. But he can be. Do you know what he is? He can be what he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's got everything. I mean, I mentioned it before about Stan. He had everything.
Yeah.
Stan had everything. It just missed something between the ears. Sorry, Stan.
Right, I've got a couple of final questions.
Okay.
Some fun ones. So your former teammates used to call you Trigger after Rodney from Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah. It's a bit of a, like, now I've got to this kind of point in my life. It's kind of, I've kind of changed on all that kind of stuff. And the reason being in a, I know you wanted it to be fun, but in a serious note, it's in our day, when you walked into it, you got to understand, right? I was at Marine until I was 20 years of age and then signed for Bolton. When I was 20, become a pro at Bolton. So I didn't go through any YT, academy, apprenticeship or anything. And then I played in the World Cup 3 years later. And 4 years later, I was signed by Liverpool. So you can imagine like that progression. But I was still learning. And then when you walk into a Liverpool dressing room, Tim will know exactly what I mean. At Blackburn, when you've won something, the first thing you got to do is be accepted. And when you walk into somewhere with the magnitudes of superstars, you want to be accepted very quickly. You want to be accepted because you want them to welcome you in. You want to feel good enough to be at that football club. You've got to manage the expectation of what's on you playing for that football club. Mm-hmm. And I always had the ability to to play the class clown and to be the joker and say the funny things. And I didn't mind taking the brunt of the banter. And I kind of quite liked it in the end. So I kind of forged this character. And it wasn't really me, but I was accepted. I was accepted in the dressing room. And I felt if I carried on, I would be accepted. Because we all like to be liked, don't we? But we all want to be accepted as well. And that was the character that I played. And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it back then. Yeah. I did. But when you come out of football and you've got to make your way in life and you've got to try and carve a different career, it can be detrimental to you.
Yeah.
And I've just passed the Masters in sport and directorship. So I was never academy based.
Congratulations.
And one of the reasons why I did the Masters was to dismiss the myth that I'm actually thick as shit. Like, because that's the perception everyone has of me, because of Trigger. And
I never had
that. I thought that meant I thought that meant fun.
So there's a lot of people around me who think that I'm Trigger. With Ireland, I was Trigger. People still shouting Ireland now, Trigger. And I like it, and it's kind of I've got a bit of a soft spot for it. But it's not really me.
Okay.
And I've done this Masters now, and I'm quite proud of myself passing it, because it was tough 2 years, but I've gone and done it. And I'm trying to carve my way into, a different arena now. So it's, it has been detrimental to me.
That's
coming
so
out
interesting.
Of the game.
I had it down as fun and sort of well loved. Like
there's a bit of that. Yeah, there's a bit of that. But I'll go and give a comment now.
Yeah.
And because of social media and different platforms, it's like, you're thick as shit. He's like, who is he? Like, he's Trigger. He's like this, that, and the other. And I kind of it's a bit hard sometimes, because I'm actually thinking, well, first of all, you don't know me. Two, there's a story behind why it all happened. And it wasn't really the authentic me back then. But
do you wish you'd done it different then, if you could go back?
I don't know whether I would have survived. Because, you'd have these survival mechanisms, don't you? And, you use them to survive, don't you? And, I quickly become this character. And I played up to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here but I played up to the character. And I kind of liked it at the time. But then as you go through life, you can't just keep playing that character.
Yeah.
And then you try and be you. And there's people are like, really? And then it's just hard. It's hard getting rid of the tag.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of trying to prove it now. I've done don't get me wrong, I've not done a Masters, so people can't call me thick. I've done it for lots of different reasons and stuff. But one of the reasons was to prove people that, there is a serious side to me, and there is a side that is, not stupid. So
yeah, it's funny. I think
sorry.
No, not at all. I think it's a fascinating thing, and I think we've all got those defense mechanisms as well. And I think when I started out broadcasting full time 5 years ago, I used to dim myself down. So I used to wear basic clothes and not trying. Whereas these days, where I feel more comfortable in myself and my broadcasting ability, my confidence, I'm going to wear the nicest outfit I want. And if you think that makes me not know about football because I'm in a nice dress, then that's on you. I think we've all got our
but there's a perception of people. There's a perception of people about us without even knowing us, isn't it? Yeah. And that can be from someone telling them something or reading something. So it's already out there that I'm this stupid kind of Trigger character. When really, I would never expect him to think that, because we've been mates for years and years, and we've had serious conversations, and we've grown up in the footy world together. And there's a lot of close people around me who know the real me.
Right. Who will be the manager of each of these clubs on the first day of next season?
Ooh, I wonder if Tottenham's in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few out there managers, isn't there?
I've got 5 for you.
End of the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Liverpool.
Slot.
Am I going as well?
Beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Slot.
First day of next season.
Slot. Always thinking, look.
Xavi.
Dun, dun, dun.
Manchester United.
Oh. Michael Carrick.
No. Who's going to be manager? I don't know, but it's not Michael. I don't see.
This
Michael.
is good, by the way. Who wrote this? Will must be away.
This is a great question.
It's not Michael.
Carlo?
Possibly.
He signed a new deal, Carlo, no?
Is he signed a new deal?
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah, I'm sure I read that.
I mean, nothing does it, contracts in football.
That's as long as they win the World Cup. Otherwise, it's off.
Would you have Carlo over Michael Carrick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely different animals.
Very different. Right, I'm looking at both of you closely for this one. Manchester City.
Maresca.
What a disaster.
He's just one of the disciples, isn't he?
Yeah.
Out of work, waiting for something. Don't have Pep's.
Oh, you imagine being in them shoes if you're following him in.
Right.
Do you know what? Like, I like the story of Man City the last 18 months. I mean, Pep Linder's going in. There's a bit of a change now and again, isn't it? I'm enjoying watching them every now and again because they get boring, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind Guardiola being there, but I think if he goes, Maresca.
Yeah, they all mix it up like that. They all try it out. Like with Arsenal now, look at Heinz have gone in there.
Yeah.
You know, thinking, whoa, where'd that come from? We know where, because you obviously played with Mikel at PSG. But
I've got a great one for Tottenham.
Okay, hold on.
You can ask us about Tottenham.
I've got 2 more to go.
Go on.
Chelsea.
Next season. Beginning of next season. Liam.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my last one is Spurs.
Mauricio. That means Tottenham stay up.
Okay, only if Tottenham stay up.
I've gone the other way. Robbie Keane.
What if they get relegated?
Sam would love that if he was here.
I've got a relegated one.
Yep.
I've got a relegated manager, which I don't like to think about. Scott Parker.
No. I see it, but no.
Parker leaves relegated Burnley and goes to relegated Spurs.
He said, what's he had? 2 promotions?
He knows how to get out of the Championship.
If Tottenham get relegated, anyone gets them promoted.
That's more.
Robbie Keane.
I wonder if Leicester thought that.
Doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah.
Different Leicester.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell you who's a good fit for Tottenham next season. Michael Carrick, but you'll be at Man United.
You said that last week.
By the way, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
Down or up? Staying up or going down?
Both.
Okay. Right, my very last question for you today. A game of beer, coffee, or blank them. Graham Souness.
So hold on a minute. So we've got to put them as the drink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beer. Would you have a beer with them? Would you have a coffee with them? Or would you blank them? I've got 3. Am I doing all 3 at the same time? I'm confused. Okay, right. I'll give you 3 names and you've got to say beer, coffee, or you'd blank them. Graham Souness, Roy Keane, and Michael Owen. Beer, coffee, or blank.
About all of them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, apart from Michael. Fell out with Graham for years. He was my manager at Blackburn. Proper fell out with him. Didn't speak to him for years. Then we met up in Qatar. Patched things up. I've got a bit of a soft spot for him.
Okay.
So I would go beer.
Okay. And then Roy Keane?
Didn't speak to Roy for 20 years after the Saipan incident. Bumped into each other loads, ignored each other, battered each other in the media. He's just paid for my coffee bill in a cafe. And we patched it up. Bumped into him, spoke. So we've 20 years wasted. If there's any kids out there, it's not worth it. So we're back on talking terms. I wouldn't say we're mates, but we're talking.
Hold on a minute. Back up. So you were in a coffee shop and he was in a coffee shop and he paid your bill?
Yeah. I was having some breakfast in a cafe, yeah. And he was in there and he walked out 20 minutes before me. And then I got my bill and the waitress said, no, he's paid your bill. So I rang Cara and I said to Cara, Roy's gone and paid me bill after 20 years. I said, will you ring him and ask him if I can have his number so I can text him thank you? And he went, yeah, I'll speak to him, yeah. So 2 hours later, he rings me back. He said, he appreciates the thank you, but you're not having his phone number.
Don't get too close.
Yeah, arm's length. So what was that? A beer?
So coffee? Or blankum.
Oh, we're not a blanking them stage. So it's beer. It'd have to be a coffee with Roy. It'd have to be a coffee.
That's funny.
So coffee. Yeah. What have I gone? Beer, coffee.
So you're gonna blank Michael Owen?
Oh, you've used them. I would say, you got to do this.
I didn't explain my game very well.
Would I blank Michael?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't blank Michael, but I don't know whether I'd want to go for a beer or a coffee with him. Sorry, Mick.
Tim?
I would have a beer with all of them, but Roy don't have a beer, does he? So it's coffee. Yeah. I love Graham.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's just Graham. I love Michael. I work with Michael all the time. And I do have a beer, but he don't drink beer. He drinks something else.
So you'll have to have a beer with Graham.
Yeah.
We'll have to send love to Michael.
And Roy's great. He's just
that was well worth doing that just for that story alone.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
And it is 20 years wasted because,
brilliant.
You know, he is great. And I do have a soft spot for him.
I think he's softening in his old age as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's the pantomime villain he likes playing, isn't it? He's got
everybody
that
likes him these days. Yeah.
But it's not really him.
Thank you so much. That was really enjoyable.
I enjoyed it, yeah. Great catching up.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice
and
to
great
Thanks for
catching
your
up.
time. Thank
got
you.
a soft spot for him as well.
Yeah. Tim, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I hope you're here next week. Might have accepted another job.
Yeah.
But
Another one.
Yeah, we hope to see you next week.
It'd be nice. Do you know what? They would stay up if they got him in. But seeing his side of things, it's good how they put a spin on it, isn't it? Like, you don't understand.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he's got to live here, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're red or white there. I mean, it seriously is.
Yeah.
Come and live up north.
Yeah, I'd have to.
It's nice up here.
I'll go back to Blackburn. They would accept
me. Yeah, they'll have you. They'll have you there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football. Don't forget that new Boyle Sports customers can get a bet £10, get £40 in free bets offer, plus a 50% bet builder boost for Manchester United versus Aston Villa on Sunday. 18 plus T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly. Thank you very much for watching another episode.